Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. I support the member for Mayo's motion in relation to including purchases of water to be put through to be subject to the Foreign Investment Review Board. This would obviously apply to permanent water, long-term leases, but obviously wouldn't apply to the purchases of temporary water right, which many farmers obviously need as a way of maintaining their business, just their traditional day-to-day farming businesses. The ability to purchase water in opportunistic times is just an everyday part of running a farm. Doesn't matter whether you're in South Australia, New South Wales or in Victoria. Right now, the ACCC is investigating the water trading and the operations around water trading in the lower Murray and lower Darling reaches. And that's something that we are really looking forward to with anticipation. There has been serious speculation that water traders, water barons, have been manipulating the water prices in dry times, which is incredibly heartless if it is true. But certainly we are really hoping that the ACCC and their inquiry will get to the bottom of this. This is something that we fully expect that the government will in fact be able to include water through the consultation period, that permanent purchases of water will be subject to the Foreign Investment Review Board. So we're fully expecting that the members' motion will in fact be agreed to. So foreign investment in water is quite important, but it's not as important as what happens to the water that we have available each and every year. Quite rightly, not rightly, we need to be very, very clear that right now it has been found through various inquiries, through predominantly the Kelty report, that over 370 gigalitres per annum of additional water is flowing down the river than what is modelled and what we are told is actually flowing. On an average per annum, an additional 375 gigalitres every year goes over the border into South Australia. And that water isn't used for agriculture, it's not used for the environment, it's not put in as some sort of dilution flow, nor is it quantified as conveyance water. It is simply unaccounted for, unmodelled quantities of water. But we also understand that over 800 gigalitres a year evaporates from the lower reaches, from the lower lakes. So this water is simply put down into the lower lakes to keep the lower lakes fresh, to keep the Murray Mouth open, and even now we all understand that the Murray Mouth will never be kept open by using fresh water coming out of the Murray River. The Murray Mouth will be kept open by the tidal movements of the ocean and the tides coming in and out, and it will be kept open by dredges, and that's been the case for many, many years now. So to think that we still have the Murray Mouth being kept open as an environmental objective it's actually laughable. And when you understand how desperate this water is needed to our agricultural communities, to think that we have 800 gigalitres evaporating in the lower lakes is very difficult for the agricultural sector and the communities upstream to accept, especially when you think that 50 gigalitres was enough evaporation for us to close down McCowan. We closed down the McCowan irrigation system because there was 50 gigalitres of evaporation. And everybody accepted the pain and the hurt and the detriment that went with that decision to close down the McCowan irrigation system because 50 gigalitres of evaporation in that program was deemed to be too much. So, and yet we can turn a blind eye to 800 gigalitres of water evaporating from the lower reaches and the lower lakes of the Murray, Lake Alexandrina and Lake Albert. So we need to be very, very conscious and careful when we make a big deal about foreign investment. It's an issue, we need to address it, and I believe the government will address it in relation to its recent announcements. But what we also need to be careful is we have to understand that foreign investment can't actually buy the water and take it with them. The only way foreign investment can make money out of the water that they purchase is to sell it to a farmer in the Murray-Darling Basin. They have to sell it to a productive farmer who's going to use it to grow something. So we have issues with water barons that can actually manipulate the market, and we have to stamp that out. We have issues with retired farmers who have done everything right but actually their actions in providing for their own retirement by sitting on parcels of water and selling it at the most opportune time is also detrimental to the agricultural sector. So we have a whole raft of issues. This is one of them, and we are addressing this issue.
I thank the member.